Maheshwar and A.G. Masi will hear the matter on Monday. The case, viewers, were given to understand is significant because ambiguity over what constitutes the Aravalli range has repeatedly been cited in disputes involving mining, construction, forest clearances and urban expansion, particularly in Rajasthan, Haryana and parts of Delhi NCR. Environmentalists have long argued that the lack of a clear, uniform definition has allowed large-scale ecological degradation of one of India's oldest mountain ranges. By stepping in on this, the top court has signalled concern over regulatory loopholes and inconsistent interpretations by governments and authorities that may be undermining conservation efforts. And we have CNN News 18's Ananya joining us live right now. Ananya, good morning and thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. So what triggered the Supreme Court's Suo Motu action, and what was it based on? A specific report, petition or government notification?
Well, the whole uproar about this judgment and the kind of responses that were coming in, the Supreme Court has now taken a suo motu cognizance of this particular case. The bench headed by the Chief Justice of India himself will be hearing this particular matter on Monday, on December 29th. And that is something, that becomes very, very significant because it is a November 20 judgment of the then Chief Justice of India, B.R. Gawai, which had given out, in fact, a direction and, in fact, given a definition to Aravalli and accepted the one that was given out by the committee set up by the center, the CEC committee. But many were not happy with the same. And now, since the suo motu has been taken, let's see how it turns up and whether the Supreme Court would actually be overturning the judgment or would be at least saying it for the in the first place.
Right. Ananya, two things. How could a clearer judicial definition of the Aravalli Hills impact ongoing mining, construction and infrastructure projects in the region? Secondly, what stance are the central and state governments expected to take, and could this lead to tighter environmental regulations or policy changes, you think?
Well, if we go by the November 20 judgment of, in fact, the Supreme Court, it's very clear that any land that is above 100 meters in that particular area, it would be considered as a hill. And that is exactly what the definition of the center's committee was. And not only that, the Supreme Court judgment very clearly stated that until there is a mining, and sustainable plan, management and sustainable plan developed, there would be no mining in that particular area. And that is exactly why, this judgment actually remains to be very, very significant. So until and unless there is, in fact, a change in the definition, the current judgment sustains, and if the Supreme Court stays it, then we might see some changes coming in from, in fact, top of the country itself.
Right, Ananya. Thank you so much for sharing that very crucial input with us.